Over the past few months, I've been wanting to make my default go-to summer Fuji JPEG recipe. I've been playing around with it for a while and I've finally put it through its paces on my last Croatia trip a couple of weeks ago. I shared some of those results on Instagram. Many of you loved it. I had a lot of positive feedback. So now I'm going to make this video where I share this recipe with you, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I do. Now, this recipe will require the nostalgic negative simulation. I believe that only comes on the latest generation Fuji cameras. However, if your camera doesn't have it, you can use Pro Neg standard and then just add a bit of warmth in the white balance shift. And don't worry, I'm not going to be a dick and make you wait until the end of the video for the actual settings. Let's go through the settings right now at the start of this video, and then afterwards go for a walk in Malaga for some photography so I can actually show you what this looks like. Let's start with the film simulation, and of course it's nostalgic negative. Monochromatic color is not applicable because it's not black and white. Grain effect, weak, large. Color chrome effect, weak. Color chrome FX blue, weak. Smooth skin effect, off. Now, white balance, I am not touching the white balance at all. And the reason for it is because I still want to use the raw files and I want the correct white balance as the camera saw the scene in the raw files. Keep in mind that when you create a white balance shift for the JPEG file, that also impacts the raw file. So if you intend on editing the RAWs, this is something to keep in mind. However, if you're only shooting JPEGs, then of course make any adjustments. But for that reason, I am not making any adjustments to the white balance itself. Dynamic range is set to DR400. Now, I believe this is one of the key features to get the nicest JPEG files, is this dynamic range. So DR400 simply means that your camera is capturing more dynamic range, so to speak, and you'll also find that the base ISO will increase. Many times I've had questions as to why I'm shooting at ISO 500 or 640 in midday. And that's the reason, because I'm always shooting at DR400. Therefore, with an increased ISO, the camera is able to get more dynamic range into a single file. D-range priority is off. Tone curve is H-2 and S+2. Color is +3. Sharpness is -3. High ISO noise reduction is at 0. Clarity is at 0. For a few reasons. So first of all, if you use clarity, you cannot use a burst mode feature. So if you use burst mode, you'll notice that the clarity is grayed out. Now, if you're using a single shot mode and you use any clarity adjustment, you will find that the camera takes a couple of seconds to process the photo before allowing you to take another shot. I'm not sure why it takes so long to process clarity adjustment. Maybe it requires a lot of computational power that these cameras don't have yet. Could be why, I don't know, but it's just something to bear in mind. The reason I don't use clarity is because it's something that you can add a little bit in Lightroom or in another app if you wish, and also by reducing the sharpness and already having a fairly low contrast image, I don't think clarity or a negative clarity is required for this particular film simulation. Long exposure noise reduction is off, and color space is sRGB. The final adjustment is the overall global exposure. I know some film simulations stipulate you have to use a particular exposure figure, like 1/over or under, whatever. Personally, I've tried to do all of that and I found it incredibly inconsistent. The most consistent approach to exposure is to use your eyes and look at the screen and figure out if what's on the screen matches what your eyes are seeing. If you're using 0 exposure, but on the screen or through the viewfinder, it looks extremely underexposed, and perhaps lift that exposure a little bit, and vice versa. Over time, you'll figure out, you'll be able to correlate what your eyes are seeing to what your screen is saying, and you'll be able to adjust the exposure. So to summarize, there's no particular exposure value for this simulation. Just use your eyes and use your common sense based on the environment. If you're finding this video useful and wish to support the channel, then one of the best ways to do so is to check out my Fujifilm camera guides. I only make guides for cameras I've personally purchased and owned for at least 6 months. This ensures that any advice I give is based on real-world experience. These guides are designed to save you time and remove a lot of the trial and error that comes with setting up new cameras. They cover the main features that most people will use and will show you how to set up your camera for efficiency, ease of use, and to get the best results. If you've just purchased a Fuji or want to learn more about your current camera, these guides will definitely help. For more information, see the links in the description, and thank you for your support. So here is a very cliche shot of a patch of light, shadows, strong lines, clean composition, and there's a little arch right there, and obviously people are coming in and out, so you just get a nice frame of someone walking through there. Obviously not the most original photo, but it's good enough for this demonstration. Ideally, I would have had my girlfriend walk through there in a red dress, but she hasn't got it with her today, so just have to wait and see if anything else materializes. But pretty simple scene in the vertical composition. That was quite cool. Just trying to get the pigeon to move.
Out of the way.